Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like, there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment in court.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional right.
And Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You got to acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
I think when it comes to the woman, if a man takes charge and he shows that he's logical,
same people. That's number two. That's all theater. This is WWF.
אתה חייב לשתות קצת, נשמה, טיפה. הוא ביקש לשלוח את זה לחדשות, לשלוח את זה? יאללה, למי לשלוח?
The Israelis have banned any kind of celebration. They've also banned the families of those prisoners being interviewed by the press.
This is not only the end of a war. This is the end of the age of terror and death, and the beginning of the age of faith and hope and of God. It's the start of a grand concord and lasting harmony for Israel and all the nations of what will soon be a truly magnificent region. I believe that so strongly. This is the historic dawn of a new Middle East.
طبعا الصليب الأحمر رايح يجيب الأسرى، تعالوا نشوفوا. هلو فري بالستاين، قولها يا قوي. فري بالستاين، فري بالستاين. yes فري بالستاين. No Israel. Yes.
Instead of replicating the barbarism of the enemy, you chose to be exceptional. You chose to stand for the values that you stand for. And I couldn't be prouder to be a friend of Israel, somebody who supports Israel, and somebody who fights very strongly to see Israel survive, succeed, and to achieve its fullest potential.
If I can have your attention, please, at the board, if you bring your boarding pass, always know on a regular basis.
Thank you.
אבל באותה מידה, אני חייב להגיד לכם, המערכה לא תמה. יש עדיין אתגרים ביטחוניים גדולים מאוד לפנינו. חלק מאויבינו מנסים להשתקם כדי לתקוף אותנו שוב. וכמו שאומרים אצלנו, אנחנו על זה. מחר זו תחילתה של דרך חדשה. דרך של בנייה, דרך של ריפוי, ואני מקווה, דרך של איחוד לבבות. יחד נמשיך לחזק את המדינה שלנו. יחד נמשיך לנצח. ובעזרת השם, יחד נבטיח את נצח ישראל.
Hey, I have an idea. Mr. President, why don't you give him a pardon? Give him a pardon.
אני שרופה עליך, רום. אני שרופה עליך, רום. אני שרופה עליך, רום. נשמה שלי אתה, אני אוהבת אותך, רום. תדבר, רום, תגיד משהו.
כפרה עליך, רום. כפרה עליך, רום. אתה עוד מעט פה, אתה פה.
אתה חתיך עולם, רום, אתה הורס, אני אוהבת אותך. אני אוהבת אותך, רומיק. רומיק, תקשיב, אני שרופה עליך. אני מתה לראות אותך כבר.
שנייה, תשמעו את הבחור, מה הוא אומר. טוב. איך רום, כיף אל רום.
כפו. גייגו שלי, גייגו
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך אתה, אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. עצם חיים שלי, האור שלי, הלב שלי, די, זה מאחורינו.
ברוך אתה, אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
This is not only the end of a war, this is the end of an age of terror and death and the beginning of the age of faith and hope and of God. It's the start of a grand concord and lasting harmony for Israel and all the nations of what will soon be a truly magnificent region. I believe that so strongly. This is the historic dawn of a new Middle East.
Is there a dream that you're still trying to chase, or have you reached all your dreams?
You're asking questions like you're a television com. I thought I was just going to come out and play around the golf with you. And that's,
I want.
You're asking questions like I'm on television. Yeah, no. Look, you become president. That's a dream, right?
Yeah.
Can't.
I don't think you.
Now, you can. No, you dream. Now you want to be a great president.
Yeah.
Now you're president. Now your dream is to be a great president.
I think you're doing a pretty good job.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Nora Christine.
Ken Billions was good.
85 Slim.
And I'm Doc.
And we got a guest. We got Jessica. Jessica, you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok under Pretty Politics or Pretty Politics 101. Sometimes they hide me.
For sure. And we just added Mr. Rippy to the Man Cave. Mr. Rippy, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. Good. How y'all doing?
For sure, for sure. So we'll go to Slim first.
I have to get my phone out.
Oh, okay, cool. We'll go to Slim first. The Steelers game here in the airport. Slim, how do you feel about Trump working out the ceasefire? How do you feel about that?
I feel good, man, to see those people come home to their families, to see those rescued people just get home and feel safe, to see the tears. It's just another testimony of, America picking the right choice, man. And, everything this president has done so far, I've loved it. Even if you look at Memphis, you got a lot of people talking about Memphis today, how it's cleaning up. So everything that Trump is doing, man, salute. If you don't like that, you're just hating. And the people with TDS, I think they're going to figure out a way to say, oh, he just released them because of this, or they're going to find something minute to degrade his everything. They're just going to find something. That's just how they are. But right now, I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing as far as the people coming home to their families on both sides. It's not one side.
Right.
That's the beautiful part about it.
Nora, what about you?
Oh man, blessed be to the peacemakers. Salute to President Trump. As somebody who's half Moroccan, I can tell you that all of the Middle East and North Africa is praising this. I don't know how Americans feel about this, but people want peace and people are saluting him around the world. He deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. For me, it's that simple. But everybody in the Middle East, and I can speak for my family, they're just like, why don't you guys appreciate President Trump for all that he's doing? Why do you guys protest him when this should be celebrated and the whole country should be celebrating it? So yes, this is a historic day. I'm very, very happy. I hope that peace lasts.
Ken, you mostly talk about the empires and everything. So how do you feel about this?
Man, the human part of me sees people celebrating with their family, and that's great, right? And then the skeptic part of me is how do you change the mindset? Because it's the mindset that makes countries and nations go to war. So even in the closing speeches, they were still othering each other, our enemies, right? There's no conversations of humanity being like, yo, look, we've been fighting for a long time. We got more in common than we have against each other. The gods that they serve is part of a pantheon. Allah and Yahweh are part of a historic pantheon, a Yahwehistic pantheon. The gods are cousins to each other, right? So how do you change the mindset? That's the thing. So they stopped the war, but they didn't stop the mindset. You know what I'm saying? So it's peace right now until something else happens. So, but the human part of me, that's what's up in terms of the families. But you have to change the mindset, though. The mindset is still there.
Jessica, did President Trump bring peace to the Middle East?
I think he brought temporary peace to the Middle East for sure. I think that this is just never going to get settled in the way that I think people who have been painted this utopian picture of the world just being accepting of everybody and everybody's cultures and everybody's religions. It's never going to get there, especially in such a hostile place where one religion is persecuting the other. They're just constantly doing it to each other back and forth. I'm happy to see hostages go home. It actually made me a little bit emotional seeing the joy on these families' faces when they saw their loved one come back alive. And I'm relieved for the children in Gaza and, you know, the innocent lives that have no say in what's going on around them and no say what goes on even in their own homes, like kids. They have no say in where they're born. So I'm very relieved that there's just at least a breathing room.
For sure. Before Mr. Rippey and Dot respond, because Nora brought up the Nobel Peace Prize, but Gavin Newsom says Trump doesn't deserve it.
The United States of America. He doesn't believe in that. He believes in the red states. He's going after. He's a war. He's a wartime president. He's the head of a war party. War on women. War on voting rights. War on Hispanics. A war on this state. War on institutions. War on history. I mean, this is serious. This guy's trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize. That's what he's going to try to say tomorrow in Alaska, that he's the big guy trying to find peace, really? When he's bringing war to the American people? He put military in the streets, not of Baghdad. He didn't send the military in his first administration anywhere in the world. He sent the United States Marines into the United States of America in one of the bluest cities in this country, in Los Angeles, one of the great cities, American cities. That's what Donald Trump did. He is a wartime president.
Mr. Rippey, does Trump deserve the Nobel Peace Prize?
He deserved the Nobel Peace Prize in his last administration. And also now I know people like to say he said he's going to have the war ended within 24 hours, but that's all hyperbole. He is the most pro-peace president that I've ever experienced in my lifetime. And it's like he should have got that Nobel Peace Prize. And I understand that they have the nominees back in January before all this, before all this happened. But when the people of Israel is praising this guy for what he's done, I think he's well deserved, or more deserving than Barack Obama, because he didn't do a damn thing.
For sure. So before Dot responds, we will play the actual Nobel Peace Prize winner, because she says she's sharing it with Trump.
They decided to dedicate it to President Trump because he deserves it. Because not only has he been involved in only a few months in solving 8 wars, but his actions have been decisive to have Venezuela now at a threshold of freedom after 26 years of tyranny that have destroyed the lives of millions of Venezuela, destabilized the region, and undermined the institutions in the United States, because having Venezuela as a safe haven of the enemies of the United States and using our territory and our resources to hurt the American people and American institutions is certainly a threat to the national security of the United States and the security of the hemisphere. But President Trump has been very clear, courageous in terms of dismantling this criminal structure. And on behalf of the Venezuelan people, I reaffirmed our gratitude and our commitment to this cause for the whole America. So I insist he deserves it.
So Doc, she says she shares it with him and he deserves it. Is that enough for MAGA? Like, because MAGA's upset that he didn't get it.
No, that ain't gonna never be enough for them unless we all tear down all them statues of Jesus and put up statues of Trump. It'll never be enough for MAGA. They'd be like, yo, what? Y'all not praising him enough. But I actually don't think he deserved a Nobel Peace Prize. I think he made a good stride in stopping the active conflict. But I think at some point, if you're historically aware of what's going on, he really just hit the reset button on them being in the same situation. I mean, the situation that they are in right now, the people of Gaza went across the border and attacked people of Israel because they live in an apartheid system. They are oppressed. They can't go outside of the gates. They can't have any commerce. There's going to be no way for them to change their lifestyle. So even though you hit the reset button and you put these people effectively back in the cages, at some point, if you cage someone, they're going to do the same thing they did before to try to find their way up out of it. And not just Gaza, in the West Bank, it's people who can't go out their front door because they're not allowed to walk on the street, and they climb out of windows and go out of doors. And if you've looked and listened and historically, this has been going on for like 100 years. And he just hit the reset button on it. He stopped them from bombing now. I think he did. I mean, what he did was a great thing. I don't want to, say that it's not, but I don't think he did what was like ending the conflict. He put the pause button on it for right now. I don't think he ended the conflict though. I think there's still a conflict because they still live in an apartheid system.
Okay, for sure. So what MAGA's also upset about is they feel like the Middle East is coming to America because Qatar is building a base in America, but is mixed signals coming from the Republican Party. So I'll let you guys be the judge.
Proud that today we're announcing or signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership.
The reporting that somehow there's going to be a Qatari base on United States soil, that's just not true.
Nora, I know you. She's not even there. No, go ahead. Okay, Jessica, you know about what's the Qatar base and everything that's going on?
Just barely, I guess. I don't have an opinion too much on it. I guess I could say that I think that it's kind of weird. We don't really have many foreign bases in America on American soil, so I think that would be just kind of different. We have more American bases in foreign countries to keep peace or whatever they say they're doing and wherever they are. But I guess I don't really know much about the relationship between the United States and Qatar to really have a position on it.
For sure. Mr. Ripper, you were about to say something about it?
Well, yeah. Well, first off, regarding Qatar, I don't know much about it, but I do know that we've had military bases set up since 1996 over there. But I know that they are known for being rich in oil. So I think that's the reason why they came into it. But I just want to respond to Doc now. I disagree with the first part about, MAGA worshiping Trump and stuff like that. But I do agree that there is like a temporary fix. And I think Nora or Jessica, one of you guys said the exact same thing. It's a temporary fix, which I agree with. As long as the state of Israel stays the state of Israel, it's always going to be an apartheid state. And they're not that innocent. I'm not all pro-Israel. That's one thing I'm always criticizing Trump on. I don't understand why we got to cave and bow down to Israel so much, because they are extremely corrupt, especially the prime minister up there. And I don't want to get into conspiracy theories, but I actually agree with Doc on that. But in regards to the peace deal, just for what he did with Congo and Rwanda, which they both praised him for, I think that's the reason to get a Nobel Prize alone, not including all the rest of the things that he did in regards to for bringing peace to the world.
For sure.
I got something to say about the base.
Yeah,
go ahead. Speak. Okay, guys. So I just want to educate a little bit. It's not going to be a base. It's going to be a training facility. And just so everyone's aware, this is nothing new. We have our partners come into America all the time. We partner with NATO allies, other Middle Eastern partners. And also, I want to make everyone aware about the relationship with Qatar. Qatar was one of our major reasons why we won the conflict in Iraq. They gave information. They have it so we can have our soldiers there ready and able to fly out in the Middle East as needed. So Qatar is an ally, always has been an ally. And also, they just gave Trump a plane. So they are an important ally in the region. They're also actually a major factor why that peace agreement, whether temporary or permanent, happened. They were negotiating the conversations between the Hamas and the Palestinian Authority and Israel. So they are an ally. They are not, this country, like people, I saw a lot of Islamophobia about it. And it's not like, how you think it is. They're a modern country, they're modernized, and they're a partner of ours.
People attacking him about the plane part, about saying that he's bought and paid for. But as far as J.D. Vance's credibility, this is him being accused of lying on MSNBC.
White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law. I think it's really preposterous. I know Tom. I think that he's a good man. He gets death threats. He gets attacked. He gets constantly threatened by people because he has the audacity to want to enforce the country's immigration laws. I think that it would be a much more interesting story about why is it that Tom Homan, who is simply enforcing Americans' immigration laws, is getting constantly harassed and threatened to the point of death threats. That's a much more interesting question that I think journalists should focus on. We can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take a bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that Tom Homan has ever taken a bribe or done anything illegal, which is why he's working in the administration.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it a crime? Even the far left media like yourself. So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is that he didn't violate a crime.
So you don't, what was caught on the tape, you're saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money?
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You're focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No,
Well,
George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Go ahead, Ken. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was like, get your bitch ass on. Look. In a conversation with somebody, right? So when you chopping it up and you talking, and you're being dishonest or whatever, at the end of the day, talk to your base. So JD Vance's base is going to listen very clearly to, oh, left wing, got you, right? Then he talked hierarchical. You're talking to the vice president. Then he shifts to an area of who won't feel this. Women are low income. The government is shut down, right? If you know anything, you know that he's shifting the energy to a different area and talk to your base, if nothing else, because that dude being left wing or right, that doesn't matter in this conversation, right? So when all else fails and you have a crowd of people, at the end of the day, just start chopping it up with your base. You don't got to worry about trying to convert people that don't already rock with you anyway. Just start saying the dog whistles and you start using the language that your base is going to pick up on.
Makes sense. Doc, I know you said you would have took the bribe. For people who don't know, Tom Homan is the borders are for Trump, and he was caught on audio tape taking a $50,000 bribe. Doc, do you think he's going to be prosecuted? Do you think he deserves to be prosecuted?
Nah, I don't think he's going to be prosecuted. I don't think he deserves to be prosecuted. I don't think it's a clean non-bribe taking one amongst them. So I think if they get up there and they, with their pitchforks I think we should open all of their bank accounts and check everybody and see where they're getting all their money from. And they'll probably all have a bribe or two in there. You know what I mean? So I think if I know that this is left-wing media, it doesn't do the dude taking a bribe any any justice for the vice president to go up here and tap dance around the questions that his tap dancing ass. You know what I'm saying? Like you making it hotter now because you up here being awkward when they asking you about this 50,000. You should have chumped Buddy off before he chumped you off, and then you get chumped off at the end and he closed the broadcast on you. Right? They come in looking for that 50 ball now. You know what I'm saying? But like, bro, all of them are taking money for something they shouldn't be. All of them are breaking the rules. I don't think he will be prosecuted. I don't think he should, because if you're gonna prosecute him, we'll have to line them all up and walk him into court like the DMV.
Okay, for sure. So to everybody in the chat, happy Columbus Day, or is it happy Indigenous Peoples Day?
It's Columbus Day.
Columbus first set foot in the New World. That was the beginning of the end for many indigenous cultures. Let's name it for what it really was. 3 boats and 86 men landed in 1492, bringing with them billions of European germs in what turned out to be the apocalypse. Now, the first people to encounter Columbus in the New World were the Taino. Sadly, the Taino were also the first to suffer this civilization-ending devastation.
Columbus arrives to this landmass. He doesn't know where he is. And actually, one of his 3 ships runs aground and is destroyed. The people living on that island, they come out to help him. And they help them load all the people on their canoes. As the Spanish tell it, they gave them their best houses for them to stay and to store their goods. That was the first encounter.
We never even stopped to think about how these natives lived before these ships arrived. When history is written by the victors, we miss out on the perspective of the oppressed.
They willingly traded everything they owned. They have no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want.
Contrary to popular belief, he did know the earth was round, but he didn't know that there were 2 entire continents and millions of people between Europe and Asia. When he accidentally docked in Hispaniola in 1492, mistaking it for India, he quickly took the opportunity to begin enslaving the native people who lived there, stealing their land and resources, brutalizing their families, and spreading European diseases.
I don't think he was neither particularly brave nor particularly visionary. You have to remember, before the Portuguese and the Spaniards came to the Americas, they had gone to the Canary Islands, they had gone to the Azores, so they were pushing the boundary. If it hadn't been Columbus, it would have been any other leader of an expedition. So it was going to happen. There was nothing special about Columbus, really.
So, Mr. Rippey, I heard you say it was Columbus Day, so let's go around and let's take a poll from everybody on whether it's Columbus Day today or Indigenous People Day. Doc, what is it for you?
I guess it's Columbus Day.
Jessica?
It's Columbus Day.
Slim?
Debit or credit
Columbus
card out.
Day.
Everything is
Yeah.
It's Indigenous Peoples Day.
They don't even like that term.
Okay, Nora?
So I got mixed feelings on this. I mean, not America, the world rewards those that won, that conquered. So for that reason, it's Columbus Day, but I'm with Ken on that energy.
Okay, for sure. I mean, what you was gonna say?
No, and real quick, one thing that doesn't get discussed about that particular time period is why did it happen? Most people are not aware of the doctrine of discovery that allowed the Portuguese and the Spanish to come west. The reason why those people were subjugated because they weren't Christian. If Columbus and the conquistadors came upon any Christian nation, they would have not enslaved them. But the doctrine of discovery, which was created and written a papal bull by Pope Alexander, they had strict instructions that if there was Christian kingdoms that they found going western, then you leave them alone. The reason why they were subjugated was because they was looked at as pagans and barbarians, and they weren't seen as human. So that whole thing was about to convert them to a new religion. right? So that's why it happened. Read the Doctrine of Discovery, 1492.
Before everybody else responds, I just want to show like how drastically things have changed since Trump came into office, as far as with Columbus Day.
Christopher Columbus obviously discovered the New World in 1492. He was a great Italian explorer. He sailed his 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, across the Atlantic Ocean and landed in what's today the Caribbean. But this is a particularly important holiday for Italian Americans who celebrate the legacy of Christopher Columbus and the innovation and explorer zeal that he represented.
In other words, we're calling it Columbus Day.
Yes.
So Jessica is not calling today Columbus Day. Is that an attack against Italian people? Is that anti-Italian?
No, I don't think so. I think that they kind of pick and choose who they're going to favor in each kind of press conference, or like who are we going to reach across the aisle for to gain sympathy for anything we have to say, or maybe just to make people laugh, because Trump is also like a teenage girl of the country. He has an attitude and he likes to make the other side kind of tingle in their feelings.
Slim, I see you on a flight, but I'll play one more video and I'll let you respond. There's a new statue of Columbus.
Just want to say briefly, my name is Father Joe Pavone. I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey. It's my honor to be here today to honor Christopher Columbus and this beautiful statue, especially in a time when so many are trying to rewrite history. We could remember Columbus for the brave, courageous figure he was, who in many ways is responsible for bringing our faith to the New World. So we pray together in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, source of all grace and holiness, look kindly on your servants who have placed this image of Christopher, the friend and co-heir of Christ, in this place.
See what I mean? See what I mean? See what I mean?
Slim, Christopher Columbus been accused of so many atrocious things. Is it right for us to be putting statues of him up after it? I mean, it was destroyed before, but is it right that it's being put back up?
I mean, at the end of the day, if it's put back up or still on the floor, how does it affect us today? I mean, at the end of the day, we take the most smallest things and we make them really, really huge. Exactly. And that's the thing that really, really drives me so insane, because it's like the littlest things, people want to big them up, but the most important things they want to be quiet about. So when I look around this country today, I see a lot of misinformed people that just want to be upset about the smallest things. 9 times out of 10, it's a liberal or Democrat or somebody that just don't like the best president to ever do it. So with that being said, I'm all for Christopher Columbus going back up. Salute. American.
I don't know if that's
damn Slim, you real brave saying all that on a plane. Let's pray for Slim real quick.
Right. Because, you know why? Because I stand by what I say. It's all from my heart.
Slim, I don't know if that's a small thing when you have a whole continent of people named Maria, Jose, Jorge, Enrique. These people were converted into another people's culture, lost their whole identity. I don't know if that's small things. You know what I'm saying?
Why is it so important today? And why is it so important today? And why was it important 20 years ago? Why, and how does it affect you today?
Because it shapes how you see the world. If there, put it like this, if the blackest people in the world went to European countries, took their language, took their name, took their religion, and then they put up a statue of Shaka Zulu, oh, they would go crazy.
It's Slim whispering it because they'll put his ass off that plane if he talk too loud. You go ahead and say that Christopher Columbus shit if you want to. Yeah, gonna be in Pittsburgh tonight.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing with and you know, kid, you're not liberal minded, so it's fine.
Yeah,
But
no,
that's the thing. Yeah, no, it's all love. But that's the thing with a lot of liberal minded people. They assume that everybody else got to think liberal. It's just automatically. So, like you said, Ken, the way that I see the world is irrelevant because everybody has an opinion.
Well,
and real quick to finish, they don't need to honor Christopher Columbus for Italian history. America is named after Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian explorer.
Well, we learn something new every day, but we'll play one of Slim's favorite people and how she answered the question.
I want to get to some news that just came out today with President Biden. His spokesperson said that he is going to now start doing radiation for his prostate cancer. Have you talked to him about it?
I called him earlier.
How's he doing?
I have not talked to him. I just left him a message after I heard the news. I was otherwise on the event.
He won't even take her call.
I think Joe Biden is a fighter, and that is what I told him and left him a message. He's a fighter, and he's going to fight this, and we're going to hold him up and pray for his recovery and for his strength and for his family.
You write about him a lot in the book. Have you talked to him about the book?
Yes.
Yeah. What did he say?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on. You know, it's just you and I.
Yeah, right.
He cussed her out. That's why he's not taking her call.
We appreciate it.
Mr. Rippey, how do you feel about Kamala not talking to Joe Biden, and how do you feel about Joe Biden's recent cancer diagnosis?
Well, I don't wish ill upon anyone, even if it's Joe Biden, who I highly disagree with. Kamala Harris, every time she opens up her mouth, a life lay. I don't believe anything she just said right there. She's a complete joke. She's a disgrace, and she makes me sick to my stomach. Nobody even read that damn book. And I just hate to hear her talk, man. It just drives me crazy. She's the worst candidate in the history of candidates.
For sure. Well, Trump came out and said something very interesting. So, with Kamala being back, Trump thinks he's worse. So this is what he said.
I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but I've made life a lot better for a lot of people. And as an example, had the election of 2020 not been rigged, you would have millions of people living just in Russia, Ukraine alone. That would have never happened, and it didn't happen for 4 years. And I knew Putin very well. It was the apple of his eye. All the things I've said would have never happened. We had an incompetent administration. We had an incompetent president. And because of a crooked election, millions of people are dead. And by the way, the Israeli thing was much harder to get settled because of the past administration. Okay?
Doc, you had me praying over food. How do you feel about Trump saying that he's not going to heaven?
Oh, yeah, he probably ain't getting in. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with being self-aware. I think it's crazy that he gets this like Christian base to follow him as if he has a Christian value. When I wouldn't necessarily put that tag on him as having Christian values. But I'm gonna pray before I eat every time. You know what I mean? I stop multiple times a day, not just when I eat, but just to be thankful. I think he sounds crazy too, though, a little bit. Like, it's hard to come out and say this when, we know that just a couple of weeks ago, he flipped on the Russia-Ukraine incident. So, it's no telling how he was going to navigate it back then either. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't like him and Putin are best friends right now today. So,
Nora, your faith is a big reason why you voted for Trump. How do you feel hearing Trump says he's not going to heaven?
Well, the Bible is very clear. The only way you get to heaven is by believing in Jesus Christ. And if he doesn't, to me, that's telling. Like, he supposedly has daily or weekly calls with Pastor Paula White, who I have mixed feelings about, but whatever. So I don't know why she's not pouring into him and pouring the scripture into him. It's disappointing to hear him say that. However, I will say he is an advocate for Christian values and Christian rights in this country. So for that reason, I think he's a friend to Christians. I can't speak about him and his faith because I'm not God. I don't know what's in his heart.
Well, it seems like the way Trump treats media is starting to spread. This is what Eric Adams said to a reporter.
Dog sick person, man. You know that? You're a dog sick person. Your name was on the byline. And there's some of you that have been covering me. You guys could part. Let me do this. Y'all could depart. Y'all could depart. Some of you have been covering me for 3.5 years. Some of you are so sick and dark, and you're the leader of that. You're one of the most dark writers that I've ever seen in this city. And your personal sick vendetta and the sickness of how you think of over-sexualizing a black man, that in the book it stated that there was a sexual action in Borough Hall. That was never in the book. But that's typical of the sickness and the darkness of your sick mind. You're one of the sickest reporters I know.
Ken, do you feel like that was appropriate?
Look, stand on business. Somebody say something about you, go out their head. But real quick, on the last clip about Trump going to heaven, Trump is a 1%er. He knows that historically, heaven is a concept and an ideal that was mostly preached to conquered people. Because if you pick this cotton, or you're in a feudalistic society, or you're at the bottom, you have something to look forward to. And most people aren't trained to separate what Paul said and what the Christ said. So the heaven globally has been a concept used to preach to people at the lower end, while those that run the empire understand that heaven is on earth. So that's why he said, I ain't getting there because I'm doing this shit now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he said what he said, because he knows, look, I'm creating it now. So 1%ers have a whole different framework, different thinking about the afterlife, because their books are different, their teaching is different, their mindset is different. So, but when you are not in power and you're at the bottom of the pyramid, heaven is a great place to look forward to, because I'm gonna see my granny again, I'm gonna see my loved ones again, and that's why he said that, because he knows to create heaven here on earth.
Slim, I know you got to go and you're a New Yorker. Why is it always you New Yorkers going off on people? You muted, Slim.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say because we don't take no trash, but it's so crazy. You know, I'm going to go back to that script with Trump, because just like I said, you guys focus on the small things. What you should have said, Gray, was, what about the part where he said he made life better for millions of people, and if the 2020 wasn't rigged, millions of people would not have died? That's way more important than the heaven scenario. Just saying. But with that being said, I love the new party. I got to give y'all my closing thoughts. Doc, I know you got small TDS. I still love you. And yo, my Steelers are 4-1, man. Thursday night, pull up.
For sure. Jessica, I know you got to leave early too. Give us your final thoughts and tell us what you thought of the man cave. You're muted. You're muted. Yeah.
My bad. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was interesting. It was really nice to hear different people's perspectives, even though like I can kind of agree with some people and disagree with others. And Ken Billions, I think, is the one you said does studies on empires. I'm super interested in empires. I'm digging through historical patterns myself, but I think that I really enjoyed the variety of clips, because it was different topics and it was important to not stay on one too long, because then people get too heated. And that's something I've experienced in many other panels. So I appreciate that for sure. This was nice.
For sure. It's definitely chill over here. But definitely thank you for coming. You want to tell them all where they can find you again? We can put it in the chat.
Yeah, I am on TikTok at Pretty Politics or Pretty Politics 101. You can check out my stuff. I talk about history and feminism and politics in general, the culture and patterns that I notice. So feel free to check it out.
Hey, Jessica, are you a feminist? I just want to ask before you go.
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
We gotta bring it back.
I talk about
And
feminism
even if
in
you
the
did,
opposite direction there.
yes, I'm gonna have my daughter and her friends go check you out. Thank you. Sorry.
Perfect. That's great. Thanks.
For
I don't
sure.
know how to get off. I'm being honest.
If you just exited out, you can exit out. If you want to, I know you say you had to leave in by an hour or so.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
about time. So I'll just clock out now since I already did my exit. I found it. Thanks so much. Feel free to send me another invite. We can do a longer one sometime.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. It was a great show. Seemed like everybody leaving early, so I guess we can just start closing thoughts and end off early. Doc came out to the city, came and chilled with me, so came to Tampa, and then Tampa won with the 49ers, and he thought they was gonna lose. But Doc, what's your closing thoughts?
Yeah, that was close. Like I want to give Trump the adequate amount of credit. I think sometimes people don't realize that you can give someone the adequate amount of credit. He's not doing a horrible job, and he did bring these two sides to a ceasefire. I think the problem is though he just hit the reset button, and I think so. For people can see it both ways. Like I know people, if you don't give them credit at all, you won't give him any credit, and people on the other side they gonna act like he just saved the world. But I think the biggest thing is realizing these people in Gaza and the West Bank, they live in apartheid. It's not a great situation. It's like an open air prison, and I think the ceasefire is a great thing. But I think at some point we have to find some sort of solution. If we're going to keep putting our nose in it and minding those folks' business, we need to be a part of helping them find some sort of solution.
For sure. Ken, what's your closing thoughts? You muted, Ken.
Man, anytime you see people with their loved ones, no matter how long it's for, it's a great thing, right? The other part to these things is, where do people get tanks from, right? There's never a conversation about, how about we stop making missiles? How about we stop making weapons of war? How about we stop doing that? Because those weapons of war are for other human beings, right? So on one end, a war ends and then another begins. And the way that you really, really settle these things is through real education and a mindset shift. So I challenge people to study ancient Israel's deity pantheon. And you'll see that Allah, Yahweh, El, Baal, Moloch, all these ancient deities are part of a pantheon. And each region had their own deities. And this is nothing but the battle of the gods. That's all it is. Columbus coming to America, battle of the gods. Israel versus Palestine, battle of the gods. Human beings create the god and then fight in the god's name. Notice you never see nothing coming out the clouds to fight on the behalf of itself. It's always human beings. So you want to settle human affairs, you have to change the way people think and the way they see the world. People are under severe mind control.
For sure. If you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell to know when we go live. Mr. Ripper, you there? I don't think you're there. Nora, what's your closing thoughts?
Oh man, okay, this was a great show. My closing thoughts is you can check your girl out on Nora Christine Live. I do reality TV content as well as true crime. This month we are breaking down all the serial killers, occult killings, things like that. Also, guys, we do offer memberships, and this is a quick promo on it while we wait for Mr. Rippy to come back. Hi, guys. We have an exclusive offer for the upcoming holiday season. So be a part of the fastest growing political movement out there right now, the new party. If you join for $1.99 from now until December 31st, you get exclusive badges, exclusive emojis, and you also get access to all of our member-only content. For the next grade up, our $4.99 plan, which is for the senators, you get to join a once-a-month exclusive member-only call and ask us anything you like. Link in bio, check it out. Make sure you guys are joining. Also, make sure you're subscribing. Thank you for all your support. Oh, that's it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
For sure. Nora is like the stores playing Christmas, selling Christmas stuff super early. Nora's talking about the Israel stuff again tomorrow, so come back and check with us again. 8 p.m. will be a more in-depth dive. It'll also be about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Steven Crowder, where he talked about black and white issues at a barbershop. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so please come back and check us out. I guess, good for the families that they got back together, and that, condolences to the people that lost their lives. And we'll keep bringing you guys great content. Have a great night, Man Cave.